day of the month of Tishrei, Tafshin Pei Vav, and we are two lines down from the top of the page on Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Beis, where we finished discussing Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph, the machlokes between Rabbi Yishmael, between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, where Rabbi Yochanan holds that something that is bread that is made in an ilfas, in a pan, is a potter from challah, sorry, it is chayv in challah, and Reish Lakish says that it is potter in challah. And the Gemara is now going to challenge the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan from the following somewhat complex brisa. Says Mishnah that we're going to challenge from a number of different pieces of works of the Tanai. Says the Mishnah as follows. We have a Mishnah that says as follows: Hami'isa, with regarding Mi'isa, which is some kind of paste of bread that is made not in an oven, not in a pan, but in boiling water, some kind of pasta, bagel, something. Beis Shammai says that you are potter from challah in such a thing. Beis Hillel says that you are chayiv in challah in such a case. Now we have something which is very similar. We're going to define the difference in a moment, which is called ha-chalita. Chalita, which is also some kind of boiling water and dough mixture. Beis Shammai says that you are chayiv. Beis Hillel says that you are potter, meaning it's the opposite shittas. Says the Gemara, what's what? Says the Gemara, Me'isa is flour that is poured over boiling water. Ha-chalita, megulashim shal gabi kemach, is boiling water that's poured on top of flour. It's just it's a question in what's on top and what's at the bottom. Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi Omer Mishum Aviv, says Rabbi Shmuel, the son of Rabbi Yossi, in the name of his father Rabbi Yossi, Zeh v'zeh liftar. In both cases, Zeh v'zeh liftar, both of them are going to be potter. Va'amrila, and some said it differently. Zeh v'zeh l'chiv. Both of these cases is l'chiv, meaning this machlokes between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, they seem to be inconsistent. So says Rabbi Yishmael, the name of Rabbi Yossi, no, Zeh v'zeh liftar, or Zeh v'zeh l'chiv. The Chachamim say echad zeh ve'echad zeh asan be'ilfas potter. The Chachamim say that both according to Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, zeh v'zeh asan be'ilfas, if you made it in the ilfas, if you made it in a frying pan, it's potter from challah. But if you put it in an oven, chayev, then you are chayev in challah. And according to the Tanakama, what is the difference between Me'isa and Chalita? Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. This is where we're going to get to our argument against Rabbi Yochanan. It says Rabbi Yehuda and then Rabbi Shmuel. V'chein Amar Rabbi Yehuda v'item Rabbi Yishuv ben Levi. And this was also the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, and some said that this was Rabbi Yishuv ben Levi. K'machlokes bazu, kach machlokes bazu. What we mean is that whatever Beis Shammai was holding with Chalita, they hold of Me'isa. Whatever Beis Hillel was holding of Chalita, they were holding of Me'isa. V'tavra, but there's a contradiction. So says the Gemara, Mi sheshana zu, lo shana zu. Whoever taught this line of the brisa didn't teach that line of the brisa. Meaning these are different brises that were all shmushed together. But Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel treat Me'isa and Chalita the same. Says the Gemara, Ketani Miyat, either way you slice it, meaning either Beis Shammai is the more lenient one in both cases, or Beis Hillel is the more lenient one in both cases. Ketani Miyat, in either case, the Chachamim say, both of them agree that if you made the Chalita or you made the Me'isa in a frying pan, it's going to be potter, and in a tanner, and if you made it in an oven, it's going to be chayev. Meaning that's the operating condition. It's not really a question of Chalita or Me'isa. It's a question of what did you make it in? What was the thing that you used to make this thing into a bread? Says the Gemara, Tiyufta de Rabbi Yochanan. This seems to be a dead giveaway that it's against the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan, who says that if it's made in a frying pan, it would be chayiv in challah. Says the Gemara, Amlocha Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan, back to you. Nah, Tanai. I submit to you that my opinion is not consistent with all of the opinions of the Tanaim. But I am representing a legitimate opinion of the Tanaim. In general, the Amoraim always wanted to say that their opinion was the opinion that was held by all of the Tanaim, because that way you minimize the machloksim. And that's why the Gemara will often say, how do you explain this Tana according to that Shita? So Rabbi Yochanan at this point in time has to concede that not all of the Tanaim are going to be represented by his opinion. So he says, Tana here, it's a machlokes Tanaim. The Tanya, the Brisa says, Yochel Yehed Me'isa v'Chalita or Chaluta Chayav Mechala. Maybe you would think that Me'isa and Chaluta are going to be Chayav in Chala. Tamalomer pasuk says Lechem, bread. Rabbi Yehuda, but Rabbi Yehuda says Ein Lechem Ela Ha'afa B'Tanur. It's true. Lechem is considered to be something that is made in an oven. That's it. That's how you make lechem. It's in an oven. He says, and that would be the way that I am. I am not going according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. I've been going according to the opinion of the Tanna Kama. Says the Gemara, in Tamalib Lechem, Rabbi Yehuda, Ein Lechem El Ha'afa B'Tanur. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda, Hainu Tanna Kama. It would seem to be that Rabbi Yehuda and the Tanna Kama are holding of exactly the same opinion. So, because the Tanna Kama says, Me'isa and Chaluta Chayav and Chala, and Rabbi Yehuda says, meaning it doesn't make a difference whether or not it's me'isa or chaluta or anything else. As if it's made in a tanner, it's going to be chayiv. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda Hainu Tanna Kama. It seems to be the same opinion. Either it's cooked in, it's baked in an oven, or it's not. Elalav ma'isa ilfas. No, there is an afkamina between this opinion. This is exactly our conversation, which is the question of an ilfas, of making these breads in a pan. That is the nafkamina. That is the practical difference between them. It says the Gemara, Tanna Kama savar ma'isa ilfas chayavin. The Tanna Kama is of the opinion that if it's made in a frying pan, you're going to be chayav. And sorry, I lost the place here. There we go. Rabbi Yehuda, Tanna Kama savar ma'isa ilfas chayavin. Rabbi Yehuda savar ma'isa ilfas paturim. Rabbi Yehuda is going to tell you that the ma'isa ilfas is patur. He says that's the machlokes. Says the Gemara against Rabbi Yochanan's reinterpretation of this machlokes. Lie, no, you don't get to say that this is the machlokes Tanaim between Rabbi Yehuda and the Tanna Kama. And you are in support of the opinion of the Tanna Kama. Lie, you could well say the chulei alma ma'aseh ilfas b'durim. Everybody holds that a ma'aseh ilfas, that if it's bread that's baked in a frying pan, you're going to be patur. What are we talking about this brisa? What we are talking about here is that something that you made in a frying pan, and then you put it in the oven. Meaning it was cooked, like it was baked not regular, and then it was made regular. This is the shada by bagels. Right? You have a bagel, it's boiled, and then it's baked. So coming from that's the machlokes. The Tanna Kama of the Tanna Kama holds once you have baked it in the oven. Lechem Karim. Now it's going to be called Lechem. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, ain't Lechem ela afa b'tanur. It's only going to be considered to be Lechem if it's made in the tanur. Me'ikara originally. It has to first be fully baked. Once it's baked, you got it. So if it came to be Ikara lav b'tanur afiyeh, and since you did not originally bake it in an oven, lav lechemu. This is not called bread. Not bread. Not chayv and challah. Amar Rabbi says, my time Rabbi Yehuda, what is the rationale behind Rabbi Yehuda's opinion? 10 women are going to bake their bread in one oven. This is part of the klalos, the curses in Sefer Vayikra, parts of Chukosai. The 10 women are going to bake bread in one oven. Says the Gemara, this is Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, that this would be a dead giveaway. Lechem ha'afa b'tanur echad kari lechem. Bread that's baked in one oven, in an oven, is called lechem. If it's not going to be baked in one oven, ein kari lechem, then it cannot be called lechem. But it has to be baked in one oven. It can't be from a frying pan to an oven to a frying pan. Another Gemara tells an interesting story. It sounds like a little bit of a conversation on a broken telephone-ish. Rav Yosef, Achar de Rabbi Zera. Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef were sitting behind Rabbi Zera, meaning in Shir. V'Yosef Rabbi Zera, and Rabbi Zera was sitting Kamei de Ula, in front of Ula, meaning so Ula is the Rabbi, and Rabbi Zera is sitting in front of him, and a couple of rows back maybe, you have Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef. Amalei Rabbi Rabbi Zera. Rabbi says to Rabbi Zera, Zera, Ba'minei me'ula. Ask this question of Ula. I want to know the what's the halacha in such a case. He'd be mi bifnim. What happens if I stuck my dough mi bifnim, the inside? Rashi says here of the frying pan, and Tosfos says of the oven. But either which way, I stuck it on the inside, and I heated it up from the outside. What would be the din in such a case? Amarle says, meaning is chayv chalona. Amarle, so he turns around and he says back to him. Rabbi Zera turns around and says to Rabbi, hold up, what do you mean? My Imale, what am I going to say to him? Because if I say to him, if I say the question the way that you said it, Amarle, he's going to look at me and be like, hey, Neil, this is called a frying pan. That's the technology called a frying pan. If I make something in a frying pan, it's going to be, you have the dough on the one side and the fire is on the other side. So that's called a frying pan. Yeah, I'm not sure what your shal is. So he says, no. What I mean is, ask Ula, what happens if I heat it up from the inside? But not like a frying pan. What happens if it is facing the fire, meaning it is flame charred dough, right? I'm not cooking it in, but by heating an oven. I mean, with indirect heat, I'm cooking it like grilling it with direct heat. So Amalei says to him, what am I going to say to him? If I say it to him as you told me, Amalei is going to say, that is how poor people make bread. Poor people don't have the tools to be able to make a big oven. That's how they make it. They put the dough on coals and they make bread like that. Says Amar Rav Asi, Isa shal Ma'aser Sheni. What's the din of the Isa of Ma'aser Sheni? Divrei Rabbi Meir, according to Rabbi Meir, Patur min Chala, it is possible from Chala. L'divrei Chacham Chayevus b'Chala, according to Chacham, it is Chayev in Chala. We will continue with this Memra tomorrow. Erev Yom HaKippurim. Everybody should have a Gemar Chasam Tova and a wonderful day and evening, and looking forward to continuing with this sugya tomorrow, and it should be an amazing year of limud for all of us and for all of Klal Yisrael.